I am so thrilled you're here today. We're going to dive right into something that you experience literally every single day. I mean, every waking moment. And yet, you've probably never truly stopped to think about what it actually is. It dictates your schedule, your tech, your heartbeat, your entire life. I am, of course, talking about the humble second.
But, okay, before we can even begin to talk about a single second, we kind of have to zoom out, look up at the vast starry cosmos, and ask the grand, seemingly unanswerable question of our universe. What is time? It's this massive, mysterious concept, right? It's kept philosophers awake at night and left physicists scratching their heads for centuries. It's like this invisible river we're all swimming in. So instead of trying to boil the ocean and solve the entire universe today, we're going to zoom in on just one very specific foundational piece of it. Okay, let's dive into this. See, physical measurements. They're highly intuitive. We instinctively grasp the weight of a stone in kilograms or the distance across a room in meters. We feel the heat of a thermometer. These physical measurements just make immediate sense to our brains. But time? Man, it slips right through our fingers. We can't touch it, we can't hold it up to the light, and yet we try to measure it anyway.
Let's isolate the ultimate building block of our modern lives, the second. Now, everyone thinks they know what a second is, right? You've got mechanical clocks on your wall, digital stopwatches on your phone, maybe even an antique pocket watch, or, hey, an hourglass. But if I asked you to actually define right here, right now, what a single second is physically, could you do it? What are we actually counting when that digital number changes? The fascinating truth here is that there's a massive knowledge gap. Almost nobody actually knows what a second is made of.
Section 1. The mechanics of measurement. So, a foundational rule of human perception is that we understand things by comparing them. Think about the neural signals firing in their brain right now. Every perception you have is ultimately just a comparison between two things. You only know a line is long by placing it next to a shorter one. You only know an apple is heavy by balancing it on a scale against another weight. Whether it's distance, weight, size, movement, our brains process our entire reality through constant, endless comparison.
But, well, here's the catch. Imagine if everyone is walking around trying to measure objects using just random sticks they found on the ground. Everyone gets completely different results. The result is pure chaos. Nobody can build a house together. Nobody can trade fairly. So step 2 to solving this is agreeing upon a single standardized ruler. Once we standardize that comparison, the chaos disappears. Measurements become identical. And that leads directly to step 3. We build a shared functional reality. A random piece of metal becomes the international standard for a kilogram, and suddenly humanity is connected across the earth. It's a real game changer. Which brings us to a huge, glaring logical problem. We compare lengths with a standard length. We compare weights with a standard weight. But what exactly are we comparing when we try to measure time? You can't put time on a balance scale. You can't lay it next to a stick. So what is the actual physical reference point for a second?
Section 2. A universe made of events. To truly understand time, and to answer what we're actually comparing, we have to entirely stop thinking about ticking clocks. Actually, scratch that. We need to start thinking about the universe in a completely different, much more dynamic way. Let's look at the active world around us. A leaf falling from a tree in autumn, a candle igniting in a dark room, an eye blinking, a raindrop hitting the surface of a pond and rippling outward, or even a massive distant star exploding in a supernova millions of light years away, even the atoms vibrating inside your own human body. Now, at first glance, these seem like totally unrelated things of vastly different scales, but they all share the exact same underlying property.
So the crucial point is, everything is an event. And an event is simply an occurrence with a beginning, a change, and an end, right? A leaf starts on the branch, it changes position as it falls, and it ends up on the ground. That sequence merges with millions of other events to create an endless chain. If you really think about it, the entire universe isn't just some static room we're sitting in. It's truly just an endless chain of interconnected events happening one after another.
Section 3. The search for perfect rhythm. Knowing that the universe is just a sequence of events, I want you to imagine early humans standing with starry-eyed wonder, just looking up at the night sky. They realized that to measure time, they needed to find a repeating event in nature, something that just doesn't fluctuate. And this brilliantly illustrates how they tracked the repeating loops of nature. They watched the sun rise, set, and rise again in a seemingly perfect loop. They watched the phases of the moon grow full, shrink, and grow again. They were essentially looking for nature's perfect metronome to serve as an ultimate measuring stick for human progress.
all so they could finally coordinate their lives?
And man, it was an incredible journey of historical trial and error. We started out pretty broadly with days, right? Based on the loop of the sunrise, and months based on moon phases. Then we needed more precision, so we got hours measured by ancient sundials catching shadows. After that, we moved to seconds, marked by the mechanical swinging of a pendulum, left and right, a seemingly perfect rhythm. But ultimately, mechanical things fail. A pendulum becomes unstable. It gets affected by friction, by the pull of gravity, and even by temperature, making the metal expand or contract. To reach the microseconds required for our modern GPS-driven world today, we needed something vastly more stable.
Section 4. The ultimate atomic standard.
To fix the inaccuracies of pendulums, and by the way, even the fact that the Earth's rotation wobbles slightly, scientists realized that they had to abandon the macro world entirely. They zoomed all the way down into the microscopic world of the cesium atom. Inside a cesium atom, there are electromagnetic oscillations. Perfect, infinite, unwavering rhythm. Scientists figured out how to visualize and count these microscopic vibrations. And the numbers, well, they rapidly increased as they tracked them. 9 billion, 192 million, 631,770. Just take a moment to really let that massive number sink in. That is the exact count of perfect electromagnetic oscillations happening inside that single atom. Let's move to and see how this builds, because that giant atomic number we just talked about, that's it. That is the literal modern scientific definition of 1 second. When the electromagnetic field in a cesium atom oscillates exactly 9,192,631,770 times, the scientific community agrees, okay, 1 second has passed. The chaos is totally gone. We finally found our perfect shared ruler for time. But let's zoom back out from the microscopic world to the cosmos for a bit of a poetic conclusion here. When you look at the sun, the moon, the pendulum, and the cesium atom together, it brings us to a really profound philosophical truth. As this quote beautifully states, we never discovered time. We only chose a repeating event and agreed to use it as a reference. Our entire measurement of time is just a human agreed-upon system. We're simply comparing one event, like, say, boiling an egg, to another event, like an atom vibrating, which loops our narrative right back to the exact place we started. We know how to measure the events passing. We have the perfect atomic ruler to share our reality. But when we look back up at those stars, the ultimate mystery of the universe remains entirely intact. We know exactly how to count it, but what exactly is time itself? That is something I'll leave you to ponder the next time you look down at your watch. Thank you so much. Keep wondering and keep looking for the hidden structure in your everyday reality.